Good morning, everyone. This is Clay Booker from the West Side Fighter Friday talk show, and today we're going to read about Tell Me About Sports Martial Arts by Clive Gifford.
The word martial means to do with war, and martial arts are ways of fighting and training to fight. Some of the first martial arts were designed to kill or harm opponents. Others were invented to help people defend themselves from attackers. This is called self-defense. Most of the martial arts began in Asia. During the 20th century, many martial arts teachers left Asia and began teaching in America and Europe. Today, millions of people all over the world take part in martial arts. They enjoy challenging themselves with different moves, in both training and competition. Every martial art has its own style and rules. Some martial arts, such as karate and kickboxing, are split into many different styles. These are called schools or systems. The martial art of Kung Fu has more than 400 different schools. One of the great things about most martial arts is that you can start learning them at any age. There are beginning classes for all age groups. Once you get into a martial art, you may never stop. Thousands of people stick with martial arts all their lives. As well as being fun to perform, they can help you get really fit and give you confidence.
Some people enjoy practicing martial arts and do not enter competitions. Many others enjoy competing. Contests and competitions are usually between two people. Referees and judges watch and keep score. The contestants score points for good moves, such as an accurate kick or a fast, controlled throw. Judo is a popular type of grappling martial art. This means that a competitor tries to throw his or her opponent to the floor. Then, he or she tries to hold or pin the opponent to the floor to win points. Taekwondo is a striking sport. This means that it involves kicking and punching. There is no wrestling or holding in Taekwondo. In fact, points are taken off your score if you grab your opponent or throw him or her to the ground. Kickboxing is a striking sport in which the speed and power of kicks and punches are important. You must also avoid and defend against your opponent's attacks. Most martial arts are performed in bare feet. Each martial art has its own uniform. In karate, you wear a thin cotton jacket and pants called a gi. In Taekwondo, you wear a similar white outfit called a dobok. A judo outfit is called a judo-gi. This is because it is thicker and looser than the karate jacket. This is because judo involves wrestling and grabbing hold of your opponent's jacket. Most martial arts uniforms come with a belt or sash. These are colored to indicate your rank or grade in the martial art. As you learn more and improve, you will change belts. Most of the time, you will only compete against someone with the same color belt as you. Everyone who takes part in a martial art has to take safety very seriously. Kickboxers, for example, wrap their hands with a long roll of material that looks like a big bandage. This helps protect them from injuries. When fighting against someone else in kickboxing and other martial arts, you have to wear lots of safety gear, including a helmet. In Taekwondo, for example, you wear a helmet, a padded trunk protector, and padded guards on your arms, your lower legs, and around your groin. Martial arts are not sports you can learn at home or from friends. You need to go to regular classes and practice sessions. These are held at schools, clubs, and gyms. In many martial arts, the place where you learned the martial art is called a dojo. Each dojo has different rules and ways in which the classes are run. However, all dojos insist that you show respect to everyone there, especially the martial arts teacher. He or she is often called sensei. Your martial arts teacher will take you through a warm-up. This prepares your mind and body for training. The teacher will then show you new moves and have you practice and improve the moves that you already know. When you practice your moves against another person, that is called sparring. Sparring is a good way of improving your skills. You never have to spar against an opponent unless you want to. Your teacher may give you some exercises for you to do at home. But apart from these, you should never use your martial arts skills outside of your class. A handful of top martial artists find work in movies helping with stunts. Some, such as Chuck Norris, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Jackie Chan, become major film stars. However, most martial arts champions are not wealthy or famous outside their sport. They practice martial arts because they love the sport, and they push themselves to be as good as they possibly can. Some champions become respected teachers and open schools to train new martial artists. To become a martial arts champion takes a huge amount of training. Champions have to dedicate themselves to their sport. They train and practice every day and eat very healthily. Before training, champions stretch their bodies. Stretching prevents injury and improves flexibility so they can bend their bodies in all directions. Martial artists may also prepare their minds by meditating. This relaxes them and helps them focus on the competition or training session ahead. Judo means gentle way in Japanese. It is a wrestling-style martial art that developed out of another martial art called Jiu-Jitsu. People who perform judo are called judoka. Judoka use timing and skill rather than force to throw the opponents to the ground. In judo, you use the force of your opponent's movement against him or her. This means that smaller judoka can still win fights, called bouts. It also makes judo a great martial art to learn for self-defense. A judo bout takes place on a mat called a tatami. Bouts for adults are usually 5 minutes long for men and 4 minutes long for women. Junior bouts vary in time. In judo, you can grab hold of your opponent's jacket as you wrestle for an advantage. You try to throw your opponent over your shoulder, hip, or leg onto the mat. Once on the mat, you try to hold or pin down your opponent to score points. A referee walks around the mat. To interrupt a bout, the referee calls mat. Then, the two judoka must move away from each other. Karate means empty hand in Japanese. It is a martial art that was designed for self-defense. No weapons are used. Karate began on islands off the coast of Japan. People who learn karate are called karateka. There are 3 different parts of karate. Kihon is practicing the basic techniques, such as your stance and how you stand, and the most common kicks, punches, and defensive movements. Defensive movements are called uke. These are the parts of the hand or arm to block an opponent's punch or kick. Kata are short patterns of movement involving punches, steps, kicks, and other moves. There are over 100 kata. Karate students practice groups of kata in a row, similar to a dance. Kumite is the 3rd part of karate, and it involves sparring with an opponent. Karate bouts are usually short, but the action is intense. In most competitions, judges award points when one karateka completes a good move. If one karateka gets 8 points ahead, the bout stops and he or she is the winner. Taekwondo is the national sport of South Korea. Kyorugi is the sparring form of Taekwondo. People in more than 130 countries take part in Taekwondo. It is an Olympic sport too. The action in Taekwondo bouts is fast and furious. You have to stay balanced and on your feet as you avoid your opponent's punches and kicks. A Taekwondo bout usually lasts for 3 rounds. The bouts takes place on a mat that is 40 feet. 12 mm square points are awarded by 3 judges. To score a point, you have to strike one of the target areas on your opponent's body with your foot or fist. The target areas are the head and the front and sides of the body. Since your legs are longer and more powerful than your arms, most of the moves that score points are kicks. These include spectacular moves like jumping side kicks. You fly through the air, turn your body, and strike with your heel or sole of your foot. Kickboxing grew out of other martial arts, such karate and taekwondo. It is a mixture of regular. There are many forms of kickboxing, including Muay Thai. This is Thailand's national sport and is very difficult. Boxing gloves are the only protection that Muay Thai fighters wear. Fighters are allowed to strike with their elbows and knees as well as their hands and feet. Other types of kickboxing are less dangerous. Semi-contact kickboxing allows only punches and kicks, which have to be above the waist. Kickboxers use punches that come from boxing. These include the jab, which is the most common punch. Kickboxers learn ways of blocking punches and kicks. They also bob and weave out of reach of an opponent's attack. To do an axe kick, you lift your leg up very high and then chop it down. Like an axe-skilled kickboxers try to deliver a punch and a kick one right after the other. This is called a combination. Some kickboxers never spar with a real opponent. Instead, they practice their moves on pads and punching bags for exercise and for fun. Kung Fu is a Chinese martial art that is many century Kung Fu clothing is different from clothing worn in other martial arts. It is often black, although colors thought to be lucky in China, such as red and yellow, are also worn. Instead of being loose and tied up with a belt, as in judo and karate, Kung Fu outfits button up at the front. Kung Fu has dozens of moves. Some are throws and hold similar to martial arts, but many other moves are copied from the movements of creatures in nature. You strike quickly, like a snake, and shape your hand like a tiger's claw. Tai Chi is a form of Kung Fu. It is mostly practiced as a series of slow, flowing movements. Tai Chi is used as daily exercise by tens of millions of Chinese people. Martial arts competitions are held all over the world. Many games, such as the Asian Games and the Pan American Games, feature a range of sports and include some martial arts. Karate, for example, first appeared in the Pan American Games in 1995. 2 martial arts are Olympic sports. Judo first appeared in 1964. Taekwondo was demonstrated at the 1988 Olympics and became a full sport in which players compete for medals in 2000.